Auzubillahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Assalamu alaikum. Rabbighfir warham wa anta khairur rahimin. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for tuning into PTB World. You watching World this morning alongside the very fantastic, the very amazing Shiza Hashmi and Shahzad Khan. Hello Shiza, how are you doing today?
I'm doing absolutely great. Thank you so much for asking, and thank you so much for being so cheerful early in the morning because, well, I catch on that vibe as well. How are you doing, and how's the fast going for you?
I think I'm doing great and I'm doing fabulous as well. And before I answer this question, ladies and gentlemen, I think that there's something very important which I need to ask Shiza. And that is that Shiza is definitely addicted to coffee. That's something which we have learned over the years. And since she's fasting these days and it's Ramadan, so I just want to know, how do you recover from that very urge of having coffee? And do you have it in suhoor as well?
No, I don't. I don't know why. Because then I couldn't sleep, right? But here's the thing. I don't think there's an urge or something, but there's a certain need or a necessity early in the morning, especially when you have to come to work as well,
Yeah.
for your brain to function properly. I miss that, yes, to be honest. But I guess now that we're fasting and doing something in the name of Allah as well, He is giving us the strength to pull this off too.
Exactly, and it's brilliant too as well. So coming back to me answering the questions, so
Yeah.
ladies and gentlemen, today was a very different day for me. As you can see, I'm not wearing any gloves.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that this is the message which I'm going to give to everybody out there as well who are actually leaving their houses for work. And what you need to do is that you really need to keep a check on your inventory and make sure that your car is not being driven by anybody else. And the reason is so
Oh,
that
yeah.
you do not get a foreign touch as well. So today when I was at work, so my habit is that I park my car, I take out my gloves, mask and everything, and that's how I get ready. So as soon as I was looking for my gloves, I could only find one in the box. And I was like, hey, I'm going to look very weird wearing only one glove.
Yeah.
So I came to office and I was like, Shiza, do you have a spare, a pair of gloves? And she was like, no, I have them at home. So I was like, okay, well, this is how my day is going so far. Not really feeling very protected, but I
Yeah.
think at the same time, it's going to be a great day as well.
Inshallah, of course. I really hope you do stay safe as well. But, ladies and gentlemen, I think it's very imperative right now, and everyone knows about keeping a hand sanitizer or any sort of antiseptic with you to, of course, keep clear of germs as well.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. We have one here as well. My point of saying this is there's a certain list shared across the internet as well. Please go through it, and there is a list of the names of the sanitizers that you should be using in
Yeah.
terms of, the percentage of alcohol and everything.
Yeah.
And that is the one that is effective. So other than that, if you buy any hand sanitizer, that's not going to work. So you're just wasting your money over it. One more thing, Shazad, just yesterday I was watching a small sort of a promo slash ad of BBC News,
Yeah.
where, all the anchors were speaking to the world and telling them that we cannot wait for the day and it will soon come when we wake up. We'll happily, gather, see our colleagues, go to school and go to places and, go to restaurants, cafes, whatnot. Sports will reopen again and everything. And we're waiting till that day, like all of you. But till that day, we are here doing our duty and, well, imparting the knowledge and information we have about the situation to all of you every other morning. as
Exactly,
well.
that's great. But ladies and gentlemen, please make sure that under these times you do not take any hasty decision as well. And
yeah.
it's because of the fact that just yesterday a lot of people died in Iran, and it's because of the fact that somebody told them that consuming alcohol might help you recover from coronavirus
For
as well.
real?
Yeah,
Oh,
and a
God.
lot of people died. So please don't do that. On the other hand, I think that we can see the brighter picture today, and it is that a lot of parks, well, not the sports parks, but the parks and the trails over here in Islamabad has been open
Yeah.
for public. So please make sure that you maintain social distancing while you're working out, because a lot of people used to or were gathering on Magla Road as well,
Yeah.
and they were walking. So they thought that it's better that we open up the venues, and I think that for everybody who's going out there, please make sure that you take all your precautionary measures.
But Shazad, what do you have to say about a certain country that is actually observing a very strict lockdown in terms
Yeah.
of beating people and everything as well? Do you think that is a good idea? And
Well,
that-
certainly I think that, there's not much difference. It's just the border in between in India and Pakistan, ladies and gentlemen. I think pretty much people are the same. The mentality is the same as well. But over there, I think there's one thing which is more common than corona, and that is sticks and canes as well, because they're caning every individual who's actually roaming outside without any reason. And they're making sure that everybody is sticking back at home as well. And I think that this needs to be done where the nation is not understanding. I mean, you keep on telling people, we have seen doctors begging us on television as well every single day that there are a lot of people dying. We do not have any more beds in the
Right.
hospitals.
Please stay
Please stay
home.
at home. And the doctors are dying themselves. Here they're actually sacrificing their lives in the line of duty. So I think it is our responsibility, because once we go, God forbid, if anybody of us or any one of us gets to hospital, we need to have a doctor there. You know, so
Absolutely.
please look after them as well, and that's very important. But today, ladies and gentlemen, we have something very amazing, because
Yeah,
yeah,
go on.
go
Okay.
ahead.
Okay, so here's the thing, if you've been watching the show yesterday as well, and last year too, we sort of set a pattern for Ramadan specifically.
Yeah.
In the first segment, we try to dedicate the entire segment to, well, discovering what Ramadan really means and exploring more what this month has to itself as well in
Yeah.
terms of our religion and how to actually be a good practicing Muslim to start with Ramadan as well, with our very amazing and our very favorite scholar over here as well. But today, like yesterday, I think we spoke about tolerance in general in Ramzan, the first Ashra as well. Today, Shazad and I have certain questions which I think cross our minds very regularly, being a Muslim, of course, and being innocent again, of course. But there needs to be a certain yes or no answer to it coming from a scholar themselves so that we know, okay, this is the right answer.
Yeah.
And these are the FAQs that I'm pretty sure you have thought about as well. So, well, that is what we're going to do. Answer your
Exactly, ladies and
questions.
gentlemen, there are a lot of people who've actually given, in fact, submitted their questions on our Facebook page as well. So we'll try to answer that. It's going to be a refresher course for
Yeah.
everybody. So, ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, for somebody who, kind of took a U-turn in his life, he did his double masters as well, and there was this something which happened in his life, and that he thought that, it's better to hold the rope of Allah tighter than anything else as well. Ladies and gentlemen, he's none other than Mr. Imran Sandhu. Hello, sir. Assalamu alaikum. Good morning.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Thank you very much for joining
I
us.
would just like to add, it was not a U-turn, it was a roundabout.
But
That
you
you
get
keep
stuck on
going
a
around.
roundabout, you go round and round, wheels of the bus go round and round.
Round
That's
and
what you do
round.
on a roundabout as well. But thank you very much for being with us. Lovely to have you. And before we start the conversation, ladies and gentlemen, we definitely, listen to one of the bestest Naat, and we have a Naat Khan over here as well. Mr. Kaisar has joined us today. Assalamu alaikum, Kaisar bhai. How are you? Good morning.
Alhamdulillah, shukran.
So what are you going to share with us today? Please go ahead.
कलाम इमाम हुसैन अलैहिस्सलाम का।
Let's do it.
हुसैन बाँट रहे हैं निजात ले जाओ, हुसैन बाँट रहे हैं निजात ले जाओ, कुछ आंसुओं के वज़ कायनात ले जाओ, हुसैन बाँट रहे हैं निजात ले जाओ, ये करबला है ये मोजिज़े नुमा की बस्ती है, ये करबला है ये मोजिज़े नुमा की बस्ती है, कफन में इस लपेटो हयात ले जाओ, हुसैन बाँट रहे हैं निजात ले जाओ, नहीं करूँगा लहद में मैं इंतज़ार लहद में मैं इंतज़ारे सहर फरिश्तों कर बला रातों रात ले जाओ हुसैन बांट रहे हैं निजात ले जाओ कहेगी फातिमा वक्ते ज़हूर मादी से कहेगी फातिमा वक्ते ज़हूर मादी से लड़ाई के लिए गाजी को साथ ले जाओ हुसैन बांट रहे हैं निजात ले जाओ
सुभान अल्लाह, बहुत उम्दा, बहुत खूबसूरत
Just
और
so beautiful.
जो आपका तर्ज अदायगी था वो भी बहुत खूबसूरत था. And there's one more thing which I wanted to add, and that is that, ladies and gentlemen, I haven't heard anything like this before, and I think that this is something which I'm saying on record. Beautiful, Kaisar bhai, you've done a wonderful job as well. Thank you very much. In fact, we would love to have you in other shows as well. Thank you very much.
Cool.
Sir, now coming back to you, what do you have to say about Kaisar bhai?
Mashallah, very good voice.
Fabulous.
And just, you know, it inspired me as well.
Wow. So one day probably, you know, we're
We'll
going
have
to
you
give it a
recite
try
it,
as well,
yeah.
and we'll ask you to do it for us and for our audiences as well. But let's get started with the most common questions asked during Ramadan.
Okay, shoot.
So are you going to go with the first one, or should I?
You go.
All right, so sir, one of the very most common questions, and that is that, do you think that people should be brushing their teeth after they're done with suhoor?
Using the
And they have
toothpaste.
kept their fast.
It's a bit risky because you might swallow it or taste it inside. So it's better that you do a little bit of time management and do it beforehand.
All right.
Right, and also
And the second thing is, if you want to do it, you can do it without the toothpaste at least. You know, you can do it. Do not
Just with a brush.
Yeah, like do not go very deep inside so that you don't end up swallowing it. Because you know there are two things. Let's try to understand it. One is actually that you forget something, and one you swallow it by mistake.
Yeah.
When you and then the third fact is that you do it deliberately.
Right.
So you know, if you do it like if you are doing something and you forget it that you are fasting,
Yeah.
then you know the sawm does not break.
Okay.
oh, okay.
But if you are doing it deliberately and then by mistake something goes into your throat, you swallow it, then the sawm is going to break. But there's going to be no kafara.
Okay. But sir,
Right.
you know, over here, you know, us Pakistanis, we are pros. You know, so we kind of take the risk to an extent where we know we're not going to swallow it.
Yeah.
What do you have to say about it? Well, for example, if somebody brushes their teeth, him or her, but they do not swallow the toothpaste, or they do not get any taste, or their toothpaste is tasteless and odorless, what do you have to say then?
If you do not swallow it
Yeah.
with water, if it does not pass your throat, then it's okay. But then there's a grave chance that you will not be able to resist it. You know, like even when doing wudu, you gargle, but the gargle is not deep. Just it should be on this side.
Yeah.
And besides it, the smell coming out of because your stomach is empty. It is liked by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's not like other months as well.
And that's fabulous. The sole reason I'm asking you this question is that somebody happens to be a psychiatrist, and they've shared this with us as well. And he said that, you know, I have to see a lot of people every day, and they have to be right in front of me. I have to talk to them, and this order actually disturbs them. And this person is not based in Pakistan even. So, you know, the place where he's working, it's not really important that, you know, that everybody else out there is a Muslim. So what kind of suggestion do we have for him or her to give?
Nowadays it would be really very easy because you have to keep safe distance.
Yeah.
Right, and also wear a mask. So,
So
that
nowadays
works as
it's
well.
not a problem. So let's hop over to the next one.
All right, so Sheila,
All
go
right,
ahead.
so Sandhu Sahab, and from this answer of yours, I think I'm also going to take that mouth sprays or mint sprays are also a no-no during fasting. You can't use a spray, right?
No, no, no. It's
All right, one more thing. Now bleeding, everyone talks about it. If you have a cut, even if you bleed from your ear, anywhere from your mouth, does that break your fast?
No,
and
it
I'll give
doesn't.
you an example of how this happened just yesterday. I was cutting something for iftari, and I got a cut from a knife, and it was like there was bleeding, but not a lot of it. So I was not sure. Of course, I carried on with my fast, but I was not sure if I should or not. So please let us know.
No, the blood coming out of your body does not break the fast.
All
Okay,
right.
Yeah.
okay. Even if it flows.
Even if it flows.
And if it's quite a lot,
No big deal.
no
Okay.
big deal. Even if you have been in an accident and that
Yeah,
you're bleeding.
it would not. The accidents don't break the fast.
Okay.
However, you know, if even the injections do not break the fast.
Okay.
If
Oh,
if you are
right.
injected, but anything that enters your stomach
Mm-hmm.
or your brain, this could this has a potential to break the fast.
All right, thank you very much for making
Okay.
us aware about that as well. So coming on or hopping on to the next question as well, we over here, I'm sorry that I have to say it, but we have a habit of procrastinating in life generally, you know, we delay things. And same is the case when we have to wake up for suhoor as well, and once it starts to pray, you know, we're still eating, oh yaar, wo purani wali masjid mein bhi azan hui, you know, they still have to call. And so what is the right thing to do while you're actually about to keep a fast and you're in suhoor and, you know, it starts to, you know, the azan's been given? What do we have to do?
Well, you know, the timing of you know, closing you know, opening the fast and stop eating is not based on azan.
Okay.
It is not based. It is based on the time of when you know, the white line comes
up.
on the horizon, right?
Okay.
So nowadays we've got very accurate charts. So follow those charts. Do not follow the azan, because you know, if you rely upon the azan, somebody who actually starts the azan, he tells you that now the prayer time has started.
Yeah.
So when the prayer time starts, the eating time stops.
So when the prayer time starts, that's the time when we actually have to stop eating.
Yes. So base your planning not on the azan, because azan is not the source of information for you know, the
For keeping a fast or for breaking a fast.
starting time of prayer. Rather, stopping time of eating depends upon the subh sadiq, and you know, and this time is normally mentioned on the charts that you nowadays get. Get an authentic chart that is authenticated by, you know, Karachi University or Darul Uloom Karachi, and then follow that chart. That's the best way to go risk free.
All right. So now, Sandhu Sahab, if you have a dentist appointment while you are fasting, first of all, should you be fasting if you have a dentist appointment?
If you are ill, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells you to not, gives you a permission not to fast. If you've got to go to a dentist for a surgery, tooth surgery, some kind of, and it's really painful,
Right.
then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala relaxes you that if you are a mareez, then you don't have to go and fast, and then
Okay.
you can you know, cover that fast as a qaza in the after Ramadan,
Okay,
not
that's
on the
pretty
Eid day.
Yeah, of course.
After the Eid days.
Okay, and what about vomiting from the gut? Does that break your fast?
No, it doesn't break.
Oh,
the
it
fast.
doesn't?
No.
Okay.
And
that's-
what if you swallow it back? I'm sorry, I know that it's a
Then
little
it breaks the
disgusting, but
fast.
people do.
Yes.
Okay, so don't swallow it, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm going to, you know, this question of ours is in relevance to what we were speaking about earlier, that we really have to be careful about time. Very sorry. But whenever it's iftar time, you know, it's not the azan we're waiting for. It's those small blasts which take place in
Yeah.
almost every other mosque, or it's that loud horn which is being played.
Sorry.
And just yesterday I was in conversation with my mother, and my mother was like, you know, beta, you should actually wait for the azan. And I was like, you know, these loud horns actually signal us that it's time to open our fast. So how do we do it?
The same rule applies.
Okay.
You know, azan has nothing to do with opening of the fast. Azan is a call for prayer, right? So some people may give the azan a little late.
Yeah.
So just follow your, you know, the Pakistan Standard Time and that chart that you have, the authentic chart that you have. That is the best way to, you know, open the fast. Normally, there is a chance of mistake even by the muazzinin. So don't rely upon them. You can, you should do your own due diligence.
All right.
All
And
right.
thank you very much for telling us. And I think that, ladies and gentlemen, these are those basic questions which everybody asks, but nobody knows the correct answer to that as well. Well, one very important question, and since you know you mentioned about if somebody's got a dentist appointment, somebody needs to go to a doctor. Now, this situation is very different from any other situation, and that is that this person used to fast earlier when it was Ramadan in winters, but now he's not fasting, and it's because of the fact that he's on medication which needs to be taken after every 12 hours. And you know the duration of the fast is longer
It's
than
longer,
12 hours as well. So what do you think this guy needs to do? Do you think that he needs to fast afterwards in winters, or do you think that it's okay if Allah has given him that relaxation, that it's okay if you don't fast?
It depends upon what kind of an illness he is in.
He's
Chronic?
involved in cancer.
Of course, if he is in cancer, it's you know, doctor would he should ask the doctor whether fasting is recommended for him or not.
Yeah.
If the doctor tells him that fasting is not recommended at all, so he should not fast. Rather, if it is there's a chance that this is a God forbid, this is a illness that is life threatening, and it is this thing is going to go forever, that he's not going to go for fast, he should give fidya.
All right.
He
All
should
right.
give
And how
fidya.
much is the amount of fidya?
It's I believe equal to 2 kilos of wheat.
2 kilos
All
of wheat.
right, whatever that
For
might
one
be.
roza.
Yeah.
All right, so that's quite a lot of wheat, ladies and gentlemen. If you're out there, if you can't fast, if you're sick, please make sure that you do that. Now, this one last question, sir, before we wrap up the segment. And I didn't wanted to ask it myself, so I'm going to read it from our page as well, because it was posted by somebody who's anonymous. They don't want us to take their name, but he says that we recently just got married, and it's Ramadan time, and it is actually very hard while I'm fasting to stay away from my spouse. What should we do? And what is the limitation? Can I, you know, so he's asked different questions.
Well, that's a difficult question for them, but not for us.
Okay.
Let me answer it. Like you know, going near to your wife, you know, it's allowed, but you know, having a, you know, intimate relationship, that is not one should go near even. And if you do not have control over yourself, then stay away from your wife.
All right.
It is going to be makruh to go if you do not you are recently married. So it becomes makruh to go towards, although it is allowed to go
But
near your
so-
wife.
so you don't
even
break your
shake hands
fast.
with them.
So you don't break
know,
your fast,
You
it's
can
makruh.
touch her, but you even kiss her. But you know, it is strict, like not beyond that.
But Sandhu Saab, when you say makruh, please explain to us what that means.
For that person, it is makruh who does not have a control over himself.
All right.
And for that person, it is not makruh who has got control over himself.
All right. Well, that's great. Thank you very much for making us understand. And ladies and gentlemen, I think that these are those due diligence points which you really need to keep under your consideration as well. But sir,
Absolutely.
very quickly before we wrap up the segment, what will we be discussing tomorrow?
Let's discuss the fruits of Ramadan tomorrow.
Oh,
All right.
beautiful.
What is the you know value of Ramadan for a Muslim, and what is the philosophy behind, you know, Ramadan? Again, you know, question and answer session could be in a follow up. That's not a big deal. We'll answer the questions, but let's try to understand why Allah Subhanahu wa Taala wants us to
Observe.
gift us this month. It is a gift from Allah Subhanahu wa
Yes.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much,
so
Imran sahab, for being with us. Lovely having you. Thank you very much, Kaise bhai. बहुत मजा आया आज आपके साथ यार, बहुत उम्दा. But you're still going to stay over here. आप हमारे साथ ही रहेंगे. But ladies and gentlemen, we actually have to head out towards a short break. But when we guys will come back,
We will find out that arts and culture never die even amidst the pandemic time. Stay tuned to find out more. Good morning.
Dua for first 10 days of Ramadan. Ever living, everlasting Allah, I seek your blessing.
all right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for everybody who just got tuned into PTV while you watch Evolve this morning. Earlier, ladies and gentlemen, we were in conversation with our Islamic scholar or a religious scholar, and he told us quite a lot of very useful things during these days of Ramadan as well. But now, I think Shiza will open the Pandora box. Go ahead,
All
Shiza.
right, so here's the thing. We know about PNCA, right? The National Council for Arts as well. You know, organizations or institutions like this actually have a certain responsibility to take further the heritage in terms of culture and arts of a certain country, like PNCA does for Pakistan. Now, Shazad, when you talk about a lockdown or you talk about a pandemic, of course, everything is closed. Thus, you would think exhibitions or, you know, whatever, any sort of performances are sort of on hold for that as well, because people cannot get together or everything.
Yeah.
So what PNCA did, or let's say the DG PNCA came up with the brilliant idea that even people sitting at home can be a part of, well, competitions going on at PNCA or, you know, performances going on at PNCA. I'm not going to give all of it away. We have a small video from it which will show what I'm talking about. After that, we will be introducing
So other
this
than
amazing-
competing against your wife, ladies and gentlemen, this is something very fruitful, and I think that this is something which you're going to learn a little from. So let's take a
Yeah.
look what it is, and once you guys are going to come back, we'll be in conversation with that one person who's a visionary. I'm telling you, and you need to believe this.
Absolutely. Let's take a look.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, so the last date for the entries was the 18th of April, but I think that such an initiative really needs to be appreciated all across Pakistan and
Yeah,
all over the world as well. But ladies and gentlemen, I've been, ever since I was growing up, I've always been to PNCA and have been in conversation with all the different DGs who have actually made sure that they're going to bring about a difference. But believe me, ladies and gentlemen, that this particular lady has always made sure to promote the culture and arts of the country in ways where we cannot actually imagine and think about as well. She's definitely a visionary. She's the DG PNCA. She's none other Dr. Fauzi. Assalamu alaikum. Good morning. How are you?
I'm fine.
Thank you very much for joining us. Wonderful to have you.
Thank you.
And I've seen a lot more videos as well, which we'll be sharing with our viewers. But
Yes.
how did you come across this brilliant idea?
I think we were just so geared up with so many activities, and suddenly this whole thing happened and everything kind of stopped. So we decided to just continue online.
Yeah.
And some of us are good at internet, IT savvy.
Yes.
Some of us are not as good. So we had to learn. I think this is a great opportunity to learn. But we thought that we have so many talented people, and why not do an online contest?
Right. So how was the response and how were the
It was
videos actually?
overwhelming. It was very enthusiastic response, and we have over 150 submissions.
Wow.
And we were really trying to get the spread so that we don't get just Karachi, Lahore and Islamabad, but
Yeah.
from other places, and we were quite successful.
Yeah.
Even from Balochistan we have some entries.
Wow, that's
and
great.
you know that Balochistan has only made one feature film ever. So now we want to hunt talent for maybe future film
And
industry.
it's actually, while this is a great idea for art and culture to actually stay woke throughout this pandemic as well, it's actually such an amazing activity for the participants too.
Yeah.
I mean, if someone was to tell me that, Shaza, wait, while you are locked down in the house, this is what you can do, it would
Yeah.
be so much fun for me as
And
well.
not just that, Shiza, imagine that a lot of people are not even going to work, they're not even getting paid. So, ladies and gentlemen, the first prize is for 50,000 rupees.
That's true.
The second prize is
Amazing.
for 30,000 rupees, and I think that the third prize is for 10,000 rupees as well.
15, yes.
15,000 rupees respectively. So, yeah, it definitely gives you a chance as well. And not just that, I think that, there's too much flavor to share because every household is different from.
And different economic classes,
Yeah.
different professions.
Right.
And some people have used their rooftop. They've just gone up there and filmed themselves or
Yeah.
some other people. And some people have done it just within their room. So restrictions, I think, make you more creative.
Yeah.
That's true.
And they've come up with so many different ideas.
Exactly. I've got an entire gym on my terrace as well, and I do not have a single dumbbell with myself. So everything's from home as well. So I think this is
Nice.
something which we can share. But right now, ladies and gentlemen, we're actually going to share one of the entries which came for the competition as well, just to give you a brief idea of how it may look. But obviously, every other entry, because there have been more than 150 entries, are going to be different.
Yeah.
And there's no genre, so it's not really a documentary. You can, film it the way you want. So, there's no particular requirement for you to do a particular genre as well. So please go ahead, take a look at this video. And once you guys will come back, this is not the only thing PNCA is doing. PNCA is bringing back all of those beautiful memories with these amazing musicians and singers that you can't really imagine. That's the next part. Let's do it.
Due to the outbreak of COVID-19, a strict lockdown has been imposed. Business activities will be closed along with mosques and schools, which means early vacations to all the students.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, wow, wow.
Brilliant.
Yeah, I think that I
Amazing.
need to take inspiration from this video, and it's because of the fact that Dr. Saiba was actually telling us that this video was submitted by an O-level student. So imagine, that the
Imagine.
kid might be somewhere around, I don't know whether it was a he or a she, but 15 or 16 years old,
Right.
stop motion, and is given a wonderful message that this is something which is happening to people. Wow. And I never knew that this is going to be the horizon of the impact, or such can be the impact as well. What do you have to say? And when will be the results announced?
They will be announced today
Wow.
around 11 o'clock on PTV News.
Yeah.
Okay.
So everybody is excited, waiting, and our minister Shafkat Mahmood Saab is announcing it. This was done by a student, and I think we got several entries by students, but it was all age groups, and like I said, all economic groups. So sometimes you see the experience of a very poor family, sometimes a well-to-do family with a PlayStation, and you saw that in. So that range was very nice. You know, the one from Balochistan. I liked one sentence. He said, "You know, I've been washing my hands. My lines are disappearing." So it was nice expression by everybody.
And it's great as well. But
Right.
ma'am, this is not the only initiative
Yes.
that you've taken in these times as well. And I think that you're 200% fulfilling the responsibility of DGPNCA. Let me tell you that as well. So there's this Homebound series as well, and I happened to watch the 27th episode, and Ms. Kamal Nasir Saiba was actually hosting it, and it's from the archives. What is it?
What we thought was, because we cannot have the gatherings, we just pulled out fantastic things from our archives.
Wow.
PNCA has a rich archives. And we asked Kamal Nasir to host it because she has been a part of the whole the history of
Most of it.
Institutional memory and all, and she knows the artist very well, so she was hosting it, and we felt very proud of that.
Yeah. And you can tell us a little more about it as well. I mean,
Like-
when we say archives,
Yeah.
I mean, how back in the date we are going? Is it like
Well,
1947 as well?
No, PNCA was started in 73.
Yeah.
By Faiz Ahmed Faiz. So we have musical records from that time, and different artists have come, and then there are special programs for international visitors also at times. Then all the ghazal singers and the classical singers. So we make our picks, sometimes Sufi music, sometimes ghazals, and we do 2-3 songs from the archives, and then we contextualize it with our announcements.
Wow. And ladies and gentlemen, just take a look. So we have something, we found something to let you know.
लहर से उठी है अभी दिल में एक लहर से उठी है अभी
I think it must be wonderful, and you know, for all of those people who have lived through these times,
Nostalgia.
watching it all over again will be great. But one quick thing which I wanted to ask, and I might be very selfish at this, but I think I'll have to do it. And since I write lyrics myself, you know, at times, you know, I take inspiration from a lot of other things. There was one thing which I was thinking that it was very hard to get our hands onto original records of Nusrat Fateh Ali Khan Sahab.
Oh.
So can PNCA help these newer generations or musicians who want just the layer files as well for their more music to be remixed and so that they can put the vocal on? Can PNCA help in that direction?
I think what I will do is to digitize the archives. When I was at Lokvarsa, I digitized all of Lokvarsa's archives. So I think I will start that process now. We are acquiring equipment, etc. And then we would like to make it available online.
And this needs to be done.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes,
and you
yes.
can
And we
charge
have
a lot
full faith in
of
you.
money for that as well. And I think that this is something which is justified. You
I
know?
think government institutions should not charge a lot of money.
But even if they can, you know, I think they should, because either way, if we are going to make music out of it, and if
Yes.
it's a hit, we'll be doing concerts, we'll be charging money anyways. So I think that's going to
That's
happen.
brilliant. But we have entire faith in you. Of course, you are going to
Yes.
digitize that as well. But ladies and gentlemen, you know, Zoom app is like lately all over the world as well. A lot of people are taking online classes on it, students, teachers, whatnot. But that's not all to it as well. People like Dr. Fozia over here have actually utilized it for a specific or like a different reason. Shazad, you have something to add
Yes.
to it? Yeah.
You know, so ladies and gentlemen, world over, there's this amazing platform, Beatport, and everybody's listening to them. So what they have done is that they're going to 150 different locations on Zoom, and there's a DJ live playing over there, and you know all the bigger names as well. You know, you Steve Aoki and Chris Hayden and everybody.
Yeah.
So no, they're over there. So what they do is that there's this one person who's hosting, and then they take you to different parts of the world where there are these DJs who are going to play music. So something very amazing has been done by PNCA as well. And Dr. Fozia is the host of that show, and she's taking us to Sindh, where there's this cultural singer and a troupe who's actually playing for us, and then she's taking us to Balochistan. Please take us a little, take us through this journey as well. We're going to play the video and you tell us.
Okay. This was very rudimentary in a sense.
Yes. So this is live, and it's
Yes.
going live on Facebook.
From the home, this is close to Mirpur Khas in
Yes.
Sindh, and we took this video directly on live from their homes. I think that made it very special. Now we were also not experts, so it is a bit rudimentary because we are learning.
Oh, it looked
And-
like as if it's been
and
done
the-
by experts.
Right.
And the amazing thing is the artists got so excited. There was so much zing to it, and they said, we are now going to buy those small mics, and so they are going to equip themselves, and they want to continue engaging with their audiences on live.
Exactly.
That's such a great initiative, actually, Dr. Fozia. And I'm not just saying it in your face as well, but because just today I found out about it. And Shahzad, actually, to just view all these things just at the expense of your own sofa or couch at your home, it's just so brilliant. I mean, you are literally sort of, let's say, the guardian of art right now. You're not letting it die. That's
Yeah.
brilliant.
No, we cannot.
Exactly.
And we are, the second objective, which is kind of a hidden objective, was that we go to those artists who are finding it very difficult to survive in these
Exactly.
times.
And-
That is why it was not just the bands,
So thoughtful.
urban bands, but it was really groups that were in the. We went to Sui,
Yeah.
Balochistan, we went to Nasirabad, in Gilgit Baltistan, we were there at different places. So we tried to cover a lot of
It's
area.
beautiful, and I was about to mention that that there was this sentiment behind that people who were finding, artists especially, were finding it difficult to be at home, because ladies and gentlemen, we're very used to of being on stage, and that's where we pull our energy from, that's where we pull our happiness from, and once we do not have that stage, everybody feels it that way. So thank you very much, ma'am. It was fabulous to have you, and may the best entry wins today at 11.
Yes,
that's where they're going
fingers
to
crossed.
announce
Fingers
50,000
crossed.
rupees for the first, 30,000 rupees for the second one, and 15,000 rupees for the third one as well. Brilliant idea.
Thank you.
And thank you very much for being with us. Thank you very much for taking our time. It was wonderful to be in conversation. Thank you very much. And now, ladies and gentlemen, back to Kaisabhai. But Kaisabhai, before it's your turn, let us wrap it up so that you can actually share one more now with us. So let's do it.
Just 1 minute. Yeah, all right. So, ladies and gentlemen, we try to, sort of answer all your basic questions in terms of Ramadan or whatever is going on as well. So, do write to us if you have any more queries or any feedback on our Facebook page with the name of,
World This Morning.
on Twitter,
World This Morning without a G.
on YouTube.
It's basically PTV World. So you go and type in PTV World, and then you look for our show, which is the most viewed World This Morning.
And the repeat you can catch
5
at
past 11 p.m. tonight. And ladies and gentlemen, every day is a chance to be thankful to Allah Almighty for whatever you've been blessed with. Kaisabhai.
के हदू देता ही रे सिदरा हजूर जानते हैं कहाँ है अर्शे मुअल्ला हजूर जानते हैं और मैं मांगता हूँ उन्हीं से और उन्हीं से मांगता हूँ के हजूर पर है भरोसा हजूर जानते हैं के हजूर पर है भरोसा हजूर जानते हैं और बरोज़े हशर शिफायत करेंगे चुन चुन कर के हर गुलाम का चेहरा हजूर जानते हैं। कहाँ है अर्शे मुअल्ला हजूर जानते हैं। कहाँ है अर्शे मुअल्ला हजूर जानते हैं। या रसूल अल्लाह 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 या रसूल